So Arc Raiders has been out for a few weeks already, and I have a lot of hours in the game. And there's a lot of things in the game that I love, and a lot of things in the game that I hate. And today we're going to be talking about the things that I don't like. Now, just because I don't like them doesn't mean that I think they should be changed or be taken out of the game. It's just things that I find kind of annoying, and today we're going to go over that. Also, I do stream Arc Raiders pretty often, so if you do want to go ahead and check that out, I'll leave the link for that down below. Anyways, let's get into the video. So the first thing I don't like is the blueprint system. Now, in theory, the blueprint system is something that I would love because I do like scarcity in games, but I just feel like it's a little bit too scarce for something that's going to reset anyway. So I know that the reset for your character and all that stuff is not mandatory, so a lot of people don't have to do it. But the fact that you lose all your blueprints when you do it seems a little bit odd to me because people have been playing for some people even thousands of hours and they don't have the blueprints with them, or they don't have every blueprint. And I think I even saw Shroud, who had some of the most hours in the game, compared to any other streamer, and he doesn't have nearly all the blueprints. And I think that's a bit too scarce. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the idea of it, and I do want them to keep the blueprint system in the game, but maybe make it a bit less rare. And I feel like losing all your blueprints whenever you decide to wipe your character, even if it isn't mandatory, is gonna stop a lot of casual players from doing it. Like, say somebody works 10-hour shifts and they come home from work. Do you really think they want to look for blueprints all over again and just lose the ability to create their favorite guns? And like I said, I'm not against the idea of the blueprint system, but I feel like it is too scarce and it is gonna stop a lot of people from enjoying the wipe. Because having a character wipe in this game would be cool because you get to like re-grind for a lot of the stuff. But when it's too much of a grind, I feel like it can put a damper on it. Now, number two is the desync. I'm sure a lot of you have felt it whenever you get shot from a place that you feel like you're not anymore, or you can see the blood where you were and you're getting shot from that place even though you're like 10 feet to the left. It happens almost every fight. Most of the time the desync isn't that bad to the point where like I complain about it, but sometimes they can be horrendous. And I know they've addressed it and a lot of people are mad about it online. I feel like it's not killing the game for me, but it is something that feels a little bit weird. There have also been a few glitches along with the desync where sometimes I'll throw a nade. It happened to me one raid where I had a lot of good stuff, but I threw a nade under the stairs and I ran up the stairs, and then when the nade blew up, I guess it still had my character like in that area, even though I was already like a flight of stairs up, and I got hit by the nade. And I ended up dying because we were in a fight, right? So the nade hit me somewhere where I wasn't, and it was bad. And it cost me a lot of loot. And I like, I don't really care about stuff like that, but like it does happen pretty often. As somebody who plays a lot of Valorant and like, competitive shooters, you can kind of tell when things are really laggy because a lot of those other games are pretty crisp. I do feel the desync almost every single fight, and I don't know if they can fix it. I don't know if it's like a server issue or like a netcode issue, but I do feel like it's something that has to be addressed, especially in a game like this where there's kind of like quote unquote high stakes with your loot and all that. So yeah, I do feel like that definitely has to be changed. Now, number two are the extraction campers and the backstabbers. Okay, so backstabbing, I'm 100% okay with because I feel like it's part of the game. But people that extraction camp, and you can find some pretty cheesy ways to do it, are pretty annoying. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm 100% a PvP player. Okay, 100%. I love PvP. And I in no way want to get it removed. I in no way want to nerf it. I don't think there should be like a bounty system or anything like that. I am 100% down for PvP. It is part of the game. But I have been killed a few times by people who like set up a bunch of nades by the extraction and just sit there in the dark for 15 minutes, Like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of weird. I do feel like maybe they could do it where if somebody is at the extraction for long enough, it'll start like ringing or something, because that is something that's not fun. Okay. And I can get where a lot of people come from whenever they kind of like blame PvP for it. I'm gonna get into that in a bit. But yeah, extraction camping is not fun. I think it is kind of ruining the game to an extent, more in solos than anything else, because I don't really play solos. But I do notice that whenever it does happen to me, it is in solos rather than teams. It had happened to me a few times in squads, not as often as solos though. So I do feel like that is something that should be addressed. But that does bring me into a segue into our next topic, which is people that cry about PvP. Okay, like I know the game is or was originally supposed to be PvE. I know there's robots. I know that people don't like, having to fight other people for stuff. But it's part of the game, man. Like, I feel like people are crying so hard online when it comes to like, oh, I'm just gonna take free loot. There's like a whole like free loot movement to like stop people from raiding you or looting you or whatever. Like, it's part of the game, man. And like, I don't even blame them because I feel like a lot of people came from different genres, right? You have a lot of people from like Helldivers and stuff like that who aren't used to a PvP extraction shooter, which is what the game is. Like, it doesn't matter what it was before. That's what the game is now. And that's what it is, man. Like, if you're getting backstabbed all the time, that's because you're trusting people too much. Like, there's almost a naivety to it, right? Like, you shouldn't be trusting people as much as you think you should be. And I feel like if you go online, there's a lot of people that are like, if you are attacking PvP, if you're attacking players, you're not a good person in real life. Like, that's not true. I feel like it's very much cope. And I know not everyone has the time to get good at video games. I get it. Some people work a lot. Some people work or have like a kid, and they can't get on every day. But that's part of the game, man. Like, if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. And people are like down for the whole PVE mode, right? Like, just a PVE mode where nobody's gonna be there to attack you. I get it. I'm super down for that if you're into that type of stuff. But I also feel like you shouldn't be able to take that equipment into a PvP, because I know there's people online that are gonna be like, "Oh, I got this Jupiter maxed out on this PVE mode. I got this, Tempest blueprint and all this stuff on PVE. So I'm gonna take all this free stuff and take it to the PvP and just shred everybody, right? Like, I kind of don't like that. And it's not that I think it's unfair. I just think it will kind of force you as a player to play a different game mode that you don't want to play to kind of compete with the loot. Because you can find it in PvP, but I feel like that's like the fun of it, right? Like, whenever you find good stuff and you're trying to get out and people are like attacking you and you don't know if you're gonna make it out, right? Because at the end of the day, if you have a safe pocket or whatever, you can kind of get away with. You can get away with all that. You can get away with whatever blueprint you want or whatever. And I know a lot of people that are PVE focused say that they get killed by free kits. But I mean, if you look at a lot of the guns that come in the free kits, some of them are not very good. If you are even somewhat looted, you should definitely not be losing the free kits unless you are really badly positioned, or they just happen to catch you off guard, which happens, right? But this goes into my next hate, and my next hate is the Rattler. The Rattler comes with a free kit. I have never seen anybody use it with their own will, but it is one of the worst guns I think I've ever seen in a game. The Rattler is horrible, dude. It does not have enough ammo to kill anybody. If you empty your whole clip into someone's head, I think you might down them if they have light shield. But even then, I really don't think so. I have never felt a gun that is so useless when it comes to what it's supposed to do. And don't get me wrong, the gun doesn't feel bad itself. The gun actually feels like a laser. It feels like pretty good when you're actually holding it and shooting it. And I'm sure if you have it like maxed out, it can do something, right, with an extended mag and all that. But a Rattler 1, Rattler 2, horrible. Horrible. I'd rather have a hairpin at this point. Like, if I start off with a Rattler, then I just know I'm not going to do anything. And you know what? Hot take here, but maybe, I heard this from a friend. If you have a free kit, maybe you should start with a Rattler, like automatically. Now, I would give it like 2 more bullets, maybe in the mag. But I think that having a Rattler guaranteed in a free kit might stop people from just automatically running free kits all the time. Because I don't think there should be a cooldown on free kits. I kind of think that free kits are like, they kind of make it fun. Sometimes you don't want to put stuff on the line. You just want to go in and fight. But I do think having a Rattler on every single free kit would actually balance a free kit, if that makes sense. And the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is the accuracy and the dedication that the Hornets and the Wasps have, right? So I'm not saying this should be removed. I actually kind of like it in a hateful kind of way. But there are times when you can knock down a Wasp or a Hornet and they're literally on the ground upside down and they gun you down or they hit you with like a taser. And it is incredible the accuracy these things can have whenever they're flying around. You shot two propellers out. They're literally flying in circles and they just happen to hit you with the laser or like the machine gun fire. Like, it's crazy to me, dude. I've been in literal buildings with like a crevice, like you have like 10 pixels of a peek through the roof and they just shoot you with an entire clip from that little hole in the wall. And I'm just like, what? Like, what am I even supposed to do about that, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. And like I said, to an extent, this is pretty cool because they're supposed to be like cool robots, right? That can do all this cool stuff. But it does catch me off guard sometimes. And I feel like it is a little bit annoying when it comes to like, especially when you're running like a free kit and you only have like one heal. And then you get damaged by the one arc that shot you through a Rainbow Six Siege peak from the top of the roof. And I do feel like they're a little bit too aggressive, but it's like in an inconsistent kind of way. Like, sometimes you have Hornets just drop aggro on you for no reason. Like, they'll see you, but they won't chase you. Like they'll kind of just like hover around you, and like if you break line of sight, they'll kind of just dip. But then you have other times where these hornets will chase you into buildings. They'll go like they'll follow you. They'll shoot you through holes in the wall, and then you'll get mobbed by like 8 of them, and you're just like, where did all these come from? I swear to God, these weren't here like a minute ago, right? So I do feel like the inconsistency are is kind of annoying, and I feel like they are a little bit too accurate. I don't mind them like being accurate when they're like fully functional, but if the rotors are out, then I kind of want them to suffer in the aim department a little bit. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of these. I do want to do one where I talk about all the things that I enjoy, and maybe if this gets enough views, maybe I'll do another one. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one.